Hello everybody, welcome back, good morning. Let's have a look at Bitcoin to begin with, then we'll have an overview of altcoins, because still very much believe that altcoin season, or alt rallies, or whatever it is, however you want to describe it, is still in play, right? Massively in play. So Bitcoin on the daily had that nice bounce yesterday. It bounced from more or less an area that was front run, that $90,000 zone really, before the 20 moving average, before the 21 exponential. So a good look for it, to be honest with you. If we move it down a few notches to a 4 hourly, you can see that it really is just a horizontal area that got front run, not an area of moving averages. So very bullish really. People are picking this up at the first opportunity, not even really being traded as in the same way that it used to, or the way that I would trade it, which is based around, moving averages really, as supports or resistances. However, we are struggling now with the 7 simple moving average, which previously was a support and now is a resistance. So we've got to think, all right, if this is the case, what do we find ourselves in? We've got a 20 moving average up here with this kind of sort of movement. We've got this 7 simple moving average with this kind of direction. So we've found ourselves in what looks to be a very small but realistic symmetrical triangle, and we're waiting for a breakout one way or another. If we based it on the 4 hourly, we are above all moving averages. We came back down to test the center range, and if we get the breakout, we are probably going to confirm a breakout around 96,500, so just around another $1,000 from here. Up above there, closing above there, should give enough movement and momentum to push up. And look, we don't have any bearish divergence this time around. We had plenty over here. This is why we're sort of assuming a larger pullback at some point. The daily and the 4 hourly all had the bearish divergence, and from the top to the bottom it was only a 9% move, so still relatively tame from a Bitcoin perspective really. 10% is like the minimum I would have expected, so it may not be over yet, but it does look to me like it is, but it may not be, alright? It may not be. One giant drive of bearish divergence over here on the RSI on the weekly, so let's not fool ourselves into thinking that we can't pull back larger next week or the week after. This is how it's going to be, guys. This is how it's going to be. This is what it's like. And this is what alt seasons and crypto, this is what we remember vividly. So we're going to look at the total 2 now, powering on through. Again, from a risk perspective, we're outside of a Bollinger Band. Yeah, these things can happen, and they do happen, but they often end in a bigger pullback. I'm not saying we're going to come crashing back down, but it's been decent, hasn't it? Let's face it, it's been decent. And as far as time is concerned, it should still rally on to new highs over time. Let's have a think about the last alt season that we managed to get perfectly. What did that look like? So here to here, mostly outside of the Bollinger Band, getting drawn back into the 10, up, drawn down into the 10. These are relatively large moves if you think about it. Boosh, from here to here, it's 18, almost 19% move really. We haven't had anything really like that. Just continuation, just keep pushing up, further and further up. And then again, resettled around the 10. The 10 exponential so far is down here, 1.11 trillion, right? So if we were to pull back into that today, it's 17, 18% move. So these pullbacks are going to happen. This is why I kept on saying, and I believe it's to be the case, that the time and the best trades were to accumulate within these ranges, really. Around, the end of the summer, as we said, into this area now. And so all these entries should be pretty safe. So we should just be able to enjoy our portfolios riding if you bought down here. New entries, are going to be tricky because you will get washed out, quite dramatically, and then move back up again. That's my expectation. But for weaker hands or later entries or people who are just new to crypto, it's going to be very difficult for them, and the chop is going to. It's going to be tricky for them to handle it, really. It is. It really is. Now, looking at this, we've got the weekly Bollinger Band getting retested on the Bitcoin dominance. So if you're going to get a bounce from anywhere, it would likely come from here. This is a big place to get a bounce from. Let's have a look at back testing it. There's your 21 exponential. There's your 20. There's your 20, 20, 20, 20, and up, 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 up. The 64% dominant area is still on the cards. It's not ruled out. But if we do lose this area, then fine. We'll see it come down lower. We have more or less lost the 58.5% dominant zone, but I just want to put it to you that this is more of a guide, and it's not an exact science. There's so many, there's thousands, isn't there, really, of altcoins that feed into this, that it does prove useful, but it's also a guide. You know, it's not. There's so much data goes into creating this one simple chart that we can't look at it with pinpoint accuracy and go, yes, this is the exact place where we will bounce or break. So that is that. What else should we bother with? Well, to be honest with you, that is it. I think it's worth recognising that the Dixie has started to move down exactly as expected, and my longs on the pound, believe it or not, surprisingly doing well from the low entry up to this area here. So I'm not calling for a massive continuation down on the Dixie, you know, straight away. It's going to be a bumpy journey. Same with Bitcoin, and I think we are going to be looking for a consolidation, a larger consolidation at some point soon on altcoins, which makes new entries pretty tricky, I'm afraid, for new people. But like last time, you know, these were the safest entries down here, and I was saying I'm looking to exit my positions on altcoins around December. It seemed reasonable, and so you had a good 70% rally on the total too. And obviously, when you equate that to the moves that took place on our altcoins, it was roughly around 200% or so, give or take. 1 or 2, maybe 300% during this period, and then an extension on here for another couple of 100%. But this was the easy part of the market, just like this was going to be the easy part of the market. And so we've seen the easy part of the market. Now we might be getting into the tricky part of the market soon, where people start to doubt their positions. Oh, maybe I was wrong, maybe it's not, maybe it's finished, maybe it's over. I'm down 20, 30, 40%. Maybe we was wrong, maybe the YouTubers have tricked us, blah 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 blah. But don't lose sight of your overall goal, don't lose sight of the overall analysis. I've been saying for ages that this is the consolidation, this is the accumulation, we should be receiving a breakout, and we should be continuing generally up over a space of just short of a year, really. But with that comes big moves up, big moves down. So it's up to you if you want to feel like you're going to get shaken out. If you want to protect some of that capital by selling increments on the way up, that's fine as well. It's a great strategy, and being patient. But I'm not here to prescribe you trades. I'm not here to tell you what to do or how to do it or what to buy or anything like that. I'm just giving you my overall rundown, which is that, yeah, it's high and it can easily go higher, and it probably will go a bit higher, and then a consolidation is probably more likely to happen than anything, and that consolidation is likely to only lead to another portion of the rally. Right, so that will be that. I'll leave it there. If you want to join the Patreon, links in the description below, Telegram as well. Other than that, hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.